Do you find Path of Exile too overwhelming and they keep adding too much stuff? I'm here to help. Okay, that was cringe even for me. Either way, Path of Exile keeps adding so many new currencies, and now we have the Ichor? Okay, I don't know how to pronounce it. We have the new red and blue currencies, and we also have the Eldritch Chaos Orb, Eldritch Annulment, and Eldritch Exalted Orb. I wanted to make a video explaining it, and we'll take a look at them. So first, how do we get them? They basically count as a basic currency, so they can drop anywhere, or at least the lesser ones can. I don't know if I've ever had like any of the higher tier ones drop randomly. These, the exceptional ones, they are boss only and they are pretty rare. I think I've killed this boss like 8 or 9 times now, and I've only had 3 or 4. No, I've had 4. These will drop randomly from anywhere, I think even in very low tier maps, and you start dropping a lot of the greater and grand ones. You start interacting with the new altars, and I do have a separate video talking about the new altars, how strong they are and stuff like that. But I have, when I'm running them, I have this triangle and this triangle for increased pack size. And then I have the chance to find altars. And these altars will sometimes give you the reward. And I would recommend watching the video. You can make tons of currency from it. But they will sometimes have, like, you know, Eldritch monsters have a 1.9% chance to drop Eldritch Ichor. And then you will start dropping a lot of these. I've actually probably had like 180 grand ones. I just used them a lot. But especially since I have some smaller ones lying around, I wanted to teach you and show you a little bit on how to use them. And also how they interact with these. So, here is a random ass boot, and it currently has ignites you, inflict, deal 5% faster. If I hold Alt, you can see that this is the Eater of Worlds. And now since this only has 1, that means that Eater of Worlds is dominant. So that means in the case of an Eldritch Chaos Orb, that means that currently it would reroll the suffix modifiers. So if I use this right now, it would re-roll the Cold, Lightning, and Fire Rest, and I could get, you know, other really good things. And it should not interact with the prefixes at all. It won't even add things to the best of my ability, which obviously Harvest with the same modifier would do. And now if I wanted to reroll the prefixes, what would I do? Can I just add a lesser Eldritch Ember? What happens if they're both the same tier? Nothing. If I added a lesser Eldritch Ember now and used the Eldritch Chaos Orb, it will just give an error message because neither of them are dominant. So I would need to get a greater Eldritch Ember, and then I could use that. Now we also have Orb of Annulment. It's the same thing. Right now it would annul a suffix, and an Exalted Orb could exalt a suffix. They're really, really nice to use. And yeah, do remember that if you don't have any influence on one, you can just add 1 and instantly make it dominant. It does not need 2 with 1 being dominant over the other. So that's very big. So yeah, again, Eldritch Chaos right now will reroll suffixes. And there are loads of really strong mods on these. So this is already a pretty good boot for a lot of things. This is Onslaught effect and ignites you, inflict, deal 5% more damage. And it is important to note that if you use it on a 2-tone boot, for example, that would lose its implicit. If you use it on a Blizzard Crown, that would lose its implicit. So you do have to be careful. There are, it's still fine. Like if I have a really good 2-tone boots, I've had no problem with like overriding that. Now, a very special thing that's worth mentioning is Fractured Gear can be influenced like this. So for example, here I have a glove. If you don't know what fractured is, it's basically nothing I can do will overwrite that. So I could do, for example, wow, I really want flat fizz on this. It'll keep the life and then force whatever I essence on there. And these can be used with the new influence currencies as well. And I am happy to show you that we can do this in Path of Exile now. So let's say that we have these boots, right? They're really, really good. You have tier 1 life and tier 2 movement speed. So I wish that, and maybe they're even better, even more worth fixing. They have hybrid life on top of this, right? So they have armor, animation, and boom. So these are like 110 life, movement speed, perfect prefix. It's amazing. I don't need to craft another prefix for the build I'm using, and this is just great. Now we would use the lesser Ichor, and you can play around with these and see like what are some good ones. You can also go to POEDB, and when you search for the items, it should have this at the top, and then you can like look through, like this is gloves. So it's like, yeah, the link looks like that. And it would be like Eater of Worlds would have like spell suppression on gloves. Staring Axe can have like attack speed, crit chance, fizz damage. Now obviously some of these can be bad for builds, like if you're using elemental equilibrium, fire damage to attacks would be a bad thing, so be careful. But, you know, you can look through this and try to figure out what is good for your build. You can also just play around with it on Path of Exile if you learn better that way and just sit here clicking through it like this. But more importantly, we have now made this dominant, like I said, and now we can use this, and now I'm re-rolling the suffixes. So now this is already pretty good. I have spell suppression, I have lightning res, I have strength. We could keep rolling until we get something good. These are really, really good as well. And as you can see, we're just getting loads of great results. So if you ever find an item, especially one that like can get the new influences that has perfect suffixes, perfect prefixes, this is a really, really good way to re-roll that. And we could obviously do the same if it was reversed. We could have a Amber Essence, but now we would have to use a Greater to make that dominant, and then we can re-roll that. Now, obviously, you don't want to do that with... that would be dog shit. But that hopefully explains some of those. And there are some really strong ones. We can log on to my explosive arrow ones. I can give you some other examples of really strong ones. They work on gloves, boots, chest, and helmet. And yeah, incredibly strong. Do remember the override implicits. And it's very individual for each build what's going to be good. But for example, here, I have reduced shock effect, so with my Pantheon here, I am now shock immune. I'm getting physical damage recouped as life. This just really helps with like extra regen against hits. Here, I'm getting max cold rest and spell suppression, really good for hardcore. Max fire rest and 6% more damage for my build, basically. And they're really good mods on chest as well. So these are incredibly strong, and you can get such a large amount by just spamming maps. So make sure you look at them. They are really, really good. Either way, I hope this video helps you with crafting and stuff like that. Thanks so much for watching. Sub if you liked the video, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.